Well, let's turn now. Tonight, of course, our topic is divorce and child custody. Have a couple of folks holding for us. We really appreciate that. We're going to start with Van, if we can. Van from West End, please go right ahead with your question.
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering about child support. They took my license because they never took a blood test on the child. I'm not saying the child is not mine, but they never took a blood test or anything. And I have suspended license, and I can't work because I keep getting tickets for driving with suspended license. It's been 20 years, and now they take my license about 10 years ago when I came home from prison, but they never took a blood test or anything, and I never knew I was on child support. What am I to do so I won't have all these tickets? Because I got to work. If I don't work, I can't eat. So what am I to do? Who can I talk to, or what can I do to please get my license back? Because I like working and I like making my own money and stuff, you know.
Right.
So what can I do?
Well, Van, you do need to go speak with, obviously, a family law attorney and first of all figure out what obligation is in place. Obviously, there is some sort of child support obligation in place that has collected what's called arrearages, and that means that there's back child support that has not been paid, and at that point the state does start to do things like seizing your license. Sometimes they'll even take your tax return. You do need to go talk to a family law attorney about potentially finding out what obligation is in place so that you can either start paying down that obligation because those arrearages are in place, or to see what sort of measures, if any, can be done to try to get your license back in order to be able to work and do the things that you need to do to make a living.
Sandra, if Van had a paternity test that showed that he was not the child's father, how would that affect those arrearages in child support?
You know, it's really tricky. The DNA test, first of all, it's actually a cheek swab now. We do a cheek swab instead of a blood test. But he would need to go talk to an attorney just because there's all sorts of laws to figure out if the arrearages can then be set aside and things like that. If the child is his father, there are actually certain things he could do to do away with the interest on those arrearages if he pays within a certain period of time. So it's definitely worth going and talking to an attorney to do some research to try to figure out what is the best way to solve that issue.
May I ask two follow-up questions? So if he's not the child's father, though, if they find out that he's not, he still may potentially owe that money?
I don't believe so. I think at that point those arrearages